Hello everyone and welcome to Forever Rugby and Forever Sports, and what a start to the Super Rugby Unlocked weekend as the Cheetahs, with everything to prove this tournament, continues to try and prove a point by beating the Bulls 19 points to 17. What a tight match in Bloemfontein, and what a performance by the Cheetahs. And you know, the Bulls could have leveled it right at the end, but at the end of the day, the side from Bloemfontein deserved what they got. Before we go any further, please do like and subscribe to the channel. Bottom right hand corner, we've hit 100 subscribers, which is very exciting. We now want to try and push for 200, so please do become part of the journey. Hit the subscribe button, smash the like, share the video with your friends if you do enjoy it. Right, so in the opening game of the second weekend, the Cheetahs, who won last weekend very comprehensively against the Pumas, faced a Bull side which managed to win against the Griquas but weren't very convincing. And considering all the players that the Bulls have brought in, you know, the likes of Arno Botha, Gio Aplon, Nizam Carr, obviously Morne Steyn joined earlier as well. You know, Dwayne Vermeulen came back last year. They brought in a lot of good players, and obviously Jake White, and sort of try and restore the Bulls to their former glory and to sort of lead a bit of a revolution and try and get the Bulls back to be in the top side in South Africa. Well, it is not going to plan, because the Cheetahs, who, as I said, with everything to prove after being booted out of Pro 14 at this stage, with Saru electing to go with the Lions, Sharks, Bulls, and the Stormers in the what could be a revised Pro 16 next season, you know, the Cheetahs were pretty much tossed aside without any sort of consultation, without any sort of thought, and were just told that they had to suck it up, really, and that they would play in whatever Sansa tournament would replace Super Rugby. But, you know, and the Cheetahs were left very frustrated because they hadn't performed that badly in the Pro 14. And, you know, we're starting to sort of grow as a union and collect some good performances. And they were kind of just tossed aside. And they felt that, you know, Saru wasn't really respecting them. And so, but the only thing that they could do was to use this Super Rugby Unlocked as well as this Curry Cup to come out and make a big statement and say, listen, you stuffed up, you made the wrong call, we actually deserve to be there. And I tell you what, it's difficult to argue against that because they've just gone and beaten the Bulls. And as I said, very, very deservedly. And what's so nice about the Cheetahs is that they are trying to play quite a nice brand of rugby. You know, the Bulls are trying to turn to their roots. You know, Jake White is really sort of, you know, molding a team with a big pack of forwards, very structured, very sort of reliant on set pieces. You know, the late try came from a set piece right at the end when Joe Panzel went over from driving Ronnie Moore. So, you know, and that kind of summed up the Bulls. You know, you saw some very good set plays and very tight game, and then a very good game management by Morne Steyn, with a lot of the points coming off his boot. Tiaan Meyer was very good tonight as well. And yeah, it was just, I'm sorry, Tiaan Schoeman. And yeah, so it was one of those games where the Bulls were always chasing the game. You know, Schoeman kicked brilliantly the entire game, and Rox Respectman went over in the first half for a very well worked try, but the Cheetahs were just trying to almost run the Bulls off their feet. You know, just try and keep the tempo of the game up. You know, and just try and see what they can do. They've got so much pace in the back, and the likes of Clayton Blommetjies and the likes of Roscoe Speckman and Malcolm Yar. They've got so much pace in that sort of back three that they want to keep the game quite alive all the time and try and play in the loose, because obviously, you know, man for man, they're a bit of a smaller side. Despite the giant of the lock that came on, you know, so and Bulls just didn't really have an answer and weren't very clinical. And again, we're still not seeing that sort of finished product of rugby that we'd like to see. We're not seeing you know, we're seeing too many handling errors, too many silly errors. But I'll tell you what, the Cheetahs really, really stepped up today and made a massive statement. Frans Steyn was very solid. And what's worth noting is that the Cheetahs did this with Ruan Pienaar going off early, and it looks like his his season is over after suffering an MCL injury to his knee. So it looks like he won't be playing any further part in these two tournaments, which is a massive blow to the Cheetahs. But you know, and Nsila played very, very nicely. Junior Pokamelo played very nicely. He was captain of the side when Ruan Pienaar went off. And yeah, so they really deserved it. And it's back to the drawing board for the Bulls, and there is a lot that is going wrong with that unit, and a lot that needs to be sorted out, because, you know, they flex their financial muscle because they are the richest union in the country, and they brought in all these players from overseas, and they haven't seen the results yet. You know, a very subpar performance against Griquas, and now a very poor performance against Cheetahs. And they almost scraped a draw at the end. Chris Smith missed the conversion, which went off to the left. But, it would have been almost against the run of play because, I mean, the Cheetahs lost their discipline a bit towards the end and just sort of conceded a couple of very poor penalties, which helped the Bulls get back into the game and then scoring that late try. But yeah, so it was another poor performance by the Bulls, and it's a very worrying signs because at the end of the day, with all the money they spent, the fact that they've got Jake White back and they're making all these big changes, coupled with the fact that they've got such a big youth setup with so many players contracted, there really is no reason why the Bulls should be doing this badly, and they're just not stepping up at the moment. And you look at that side and you think there are so many quality players there that they should be playing better, and they're just not. So it's a big issue, and I think it's like a core issue. I don't know if it's with belief, it's with mentality, if there's a sort of a big thing that they need to get over. But at the end of the day, the franchise from Pretoria is not playing particularly well, and the Cheetahs exploited that. And the Cheetahs are now suddenly the team to beat. They ran over the Pumas last weekend. They've now just beaten the Bulls, so they are 2 for 2. And I tell you, when the other teams hit the field tomorrow, they're going to have to try and prove that they are ready to compete. Stormers and Lions are tomorrow night. Interesting game to watch there. So yeah, obviously it'll be a bit of a review on what happened over the weekend following the 2 matches tomorrow. Very interesting results tonight. Jump in the comments. Let me know what you thought of tonight's performance. Why you think it's just not happening with the Bulls. Did the Cheetahs just outplay them? Are we not giving the Cheetahs enough respect when it comes to their ability? Are they a much better side than we give credit to them? And why is it just not happening for the Bulls? Let me know in the comments. As always, make sure you like and subscribe, and I'll chat to you very soon.